Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Finally getting to an email request. Not an email request, video request. You wanted a Clarey test on Lyndon B. Johnson and Richard Nixon, just like the last presidential double. Do this in one in chronological order. Okay, so LBJ came before Nixon. I'm going to assume I'm going to like neither of them. I think Nixon was a perpetual politician, and he never worked a real job. Alright, Lyndon, L-Y-B. Johnson. Well, here we go. Okay. 1908, died 73. Born in a farmhouse in Stonewall, Texas, Johnson was a high school teacher and worked as a congressional aide before winning the election in the House of Representatives in 1937. So he was 29? Did I do that right? 38. He was 29. Won election in the Senate, da-da-da-da-da. So unless he got some other jobs in there, I'm going to punish his ass for being a teacher. It's not a real job. It doesn't sound like it came from money. 29 years old, already going into politics. Alright, early years in a farmhouse near the Pedernales River. He was the oldest of 5 children born to Samuel Johnson, Rebecca John. Now this is the point in time where they tell me where they came from Europe. 3 sisters, town of whose forebears moved to West Virginia. Of English, German, and Ulster Scots. His maternity descended from Pioneer Baptist. Just tell me what his dad did, for Christ's sake. Samuel Early Johnson, here we are. American businessman and politician. Oh, he was the Democrat member of the Texas House of Representatives. Oh, so he was born on a farmhouse, but he came for money. Okay, so Lyndon B. Johnson came for money. What did he study? He's old enough we can't fault him for studying, but I'm going to award him half a point anyway becoming a teacher. That's bullshit. He appointed Johnson as legislative secretary. Johnson got the position on recommendation of his own father and that of Senator. So he's connected nepotist. This guy had no intention of ever working for a real job. Johnson was elected Speaker of the Little Congress, group of congressional aides, recultivated congressman, newspaper, da-da-da-da-da. Did he go to college? Georgetown University Law, wedding, daughters, National Youth Administration, career, he was in the House of Representatives for 12 years. Okay, active military duty. Alright, he gets one salvation. Appointed Lieutenant Commander of the U.S. Naval Reserve in June 20th, 1940. While serving as a U.S. representative, he was called to active duty 3 days after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Orders were to report to the field office of the Chief of Naval. Following his training, he asked Undersecretary of the Navy James Forstall for combat assignment. He was instead shipped to inspect shipyard facilities in Texas and on the West Coast. He was under FDR. Poor Douglas MacArthur. He was out there. He was out there. He has real world working experience. So, half a point still for I'm going to be a teacher. And I'm going to rely on daddy. You get half a point for that. You came for money. You didn't work a day. Well, you worked in the military. I grant you that. Career in the Senate. Then he comes back. He's in the Senate in the 1948 elections. 61. Then he was what? President from 63. Re-election. Vice President 63. Then his 69. Great Society. Voting rights. Did he do anything nice after he got out of the... What did he do during retirement? Career politician. So... Wealth. No real intention to work. Get a half a point there. With that nepotism's just got to go. He does have a little bit of real world working experience. Post-presidency. Swore Nixon in, got on a plane, fly back to Texas, pulled out a cigarette, first cigarette he smoked since the heart attack in 1955. One of his daughters pulled it out and says, "Daddy, what are you doing? You're going to kill yourself. Look back to the I've raised." Went to his ranch. And speechwriter who wrote his first book. What an arrogant prick. I'm not gonna write. You're never gonna see a biography of me. You're just not. Not an autobiography. Somebody else might write the biography. Aaron, the complete prick. Then I'll have to write a biography to set the rules straight. Creates a foreign policy. Nixon, hard issues. He just went off into retirement. All right, wealth. I'd love to award him a worthless degree, but I'm only going to give him half. Real world working. He's a lifelong politician, essentially. So, what is that? 3.5? 3.25, maybe? Should he have run for government? No. Would I want to have a beer with him? No. That guy, all he knew how to do was spend money. That's all he knew how to do. And you blacks might want to look into your good Democrat buddy there and his opinions about you. Publish that. All right, let's look at Nixon. Nixon. 1994. Nixon was born in Yorba Linda, California. After completing his undergraduate studies, graduated Duke with law. So he was born in 1913. At 24, he was going to law and learn, turned to California, practice law. 42 to work for the federal government. How come you lawyers never work for a private firm? You do your 2 to 3 year stint for a firm, and then I gotta go to DC. I gotta go to the government. Served active duty, U.S. Naval Reserve. Elected a representative in 1946, so he was 33. Senate in 1950. Early life. I think he came from lots of money. House was built by his father. Parents were Hannah Milhouse Nixon and Frances Nixon. His mother was a Quaker. His father was converted from Methodism to the Quaker faith. Well, that doesn't sound rich. Nixon was a descendant. Thomas Cornwell, upbringing marked by an evangelical Quaker observances, refraining from alcohol, dancing, and swearing. Marked by hardship. Okay, he later quoted a saying of Eisenhower, described his boy, "We were poor, but the glory of it was we didn't know it." The ranch failed, and his family failed in 1922. Moved to Whittier, an area of many Quakers. Nixon opened a grocery store and gas station. Nixon's younger brother, Arthur, died at 29. At the age of 12, a spot was found on Richard's lung, and with a family of tuberculosis, he was forbidden from playing sports. Eventually, the spot was found to be scar tissue from an early bout of pneumonia. I was wrong. Right? They didn't come from wealth. That caused Richard tuberculosis. They sent Richard to larger Fulton High School. Had to ride on the school bus in Arlington Way. Received excellent grades. Junior year, yeah. So he, okay, collegiate, offered tuition grant to study at Harvard. Illness, couldn't go. Attended Whittier colleges. Covered at the request of his maternal grandmother. He played on the basketball team. Graduation, Nixon. All right. He didn't come from wealth. I just don't like the fact that they immediately go to law. I know this is in the 1930s and it didn't matter. But they immediately went into office politics. You know what? I'm going to give him the same half. Well, that's because I gave that to LBJ because his parents were rich and he went to become a teacher. All right. He's not going to get it. He's not going to get it, but he didn't come from wealth either. I still don't like the fact that, hey, I'm 33, I'm going to run for office. Hoped to join the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Received no responses to his letter. In the early years, he had been hired. Later that he had been hired, but his appointment had been canceled at the last minute due to budget cuts. Submitted to the bar. All right, so he was trying. All right. Working commercial litigation for local petroleum companies. Opened up his own branch, became full partner of the firm. Moved to D.C., Office of Peace Administration. So he does have real-world working experience both as a private sector lawyer and in the U.S. Navy. Rising politician. So his congressional career, well, I thought it was 1934. When did he go into House of Representatives? 1946. So he's 46, and then got out in 73. It's almost a 30-year. That's almost career politician. Wow, California actually went red one time in 1950. You can believe that? They got the map here. California was red at one time. Senate, Vice Presidency, Wilderness years, 68, 72, Soviet Union, civil rights, resignation, later years, and death. Staff Nixon says death, something with little to do. Sat with him alone for hours each day. Fell in with phlebitis, the inflammation of the walls. Good Lord, he was sick a lot. Returned to public life. Maintained an office at a Coast Guard station. And write a book about an author and elder statesman. New York Townhouse, rejected to co-ops. Speaking engagements. Alright, so he went and kept going. Where is he? Didn't come from wealth. Okay. Has real-world working experience, both in private law and the military. Did he major in something stupid? Doesn't apply. What did he do? What's he doing now? But that is, he's dead now. But I was going to say he's a career politician. I understand that he did a speaking tour and circuit, but what's a president supposed to do? You're supposed to get out of politics. So he kind of set the tone for that. So you have now the Clinton Foundation and Barack Obama, everybody going on speaking tours. So I guess he gets technically a score of 1. Would I want to have a beer with President Nixon? I would, only because it seemed that he came over a ton of sickness, overly religious family, and constant letdown and rejection. Should he have ran for public office? No, he was too young, and then that set forth a lifelong, almost lifelong career politicianship or career in politics. And you should be limited to 12 years max. 12 years max. You can have 2 of those 4-year periods be in the presidency, and then you have 4 years somewhere else, otherwise you're out and you're working in the private sector. But no one's going to listen to me. And I'm not that impressed with Nixon. I thought he was, for some reason, I thought he was more elitist than that. But there you go. So, all right, that's it. You guys got questions? Cappy's got answers. AstroConsulting.com. All the links down in the description below if you want to check out books. Blah, 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 blah. I got a lot more videos to do. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.